Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Shifting Tones, a podcast with nerdy tones and shifting formats. I'm your host today, Sam. It is the month of October. We have 5 amazing Halloween episodes for you, and I can't do this alone. I have to have my wonderful, amazing, fantastic co-host with me. Let's start with Spiffy Steffi.
Woohoo!
And let's roll into Lorissa.
Hiya!
So, guys, it is the month of October. It's Halloween time. It's fall time. Do you have any warm, cuddly, cozy small talk for me? Or is it all like spooky, horrible, scary small talk? What do you got for me?
I have horror work stories, but I'm not going to get into them. Ooh, the horrors of work.
Absolutely.
No, I've been enjoying crunching some leaves.
Ooh.
Okay, good.
Other than that, I got stuff decorated for Halloween.
Fun!
Nice. Getting ready for the party?
Yes. And the other thing is that we went to like a little pumpkin store. Not a patch. Unfortunately, we didn't go to a pumpkin patch, but we went to like this like farmhouse that just kind of had pumpkins there.
The pumpkin store, yeah.
A pumpkin store, of course. Yeah. But it was still like outside. So we got to
Absolutely.
go and choose some pumpkins. So we were able to put those on our porch.
Cute.
We chose some really good ones.
Now, do they have the Pumpkin 16 Pro there?
I don't.
Oh.
What?
Yeah,
The
instead
what?
of the Apple store, the pumpkin store?
Oh,
Right.
I had no idea what you were saying. I was like, what?
It's pretty good. Yeah, they
No,
did
but
just
these-
come out.
But these ones had like pumpkins that, when you think of a pumpkin, what's the first thing you think of?
Orange and
They're-
round.
Round, thank you. These ones, ovular.
Oh, interesting. Those are fun.
Ovular.
I like them. I mean, they are gourds, so I
Yes,
guess it makes sense.
So we got 2 round ones, but we had
Fun.
2 like tall ovular ones, which are like, I'm like, oh,
Ooh.
different shapes. So
Absolutely.
we grabbed them to have some varied texture, right,
Nice.
for our porch.
Ah.
So yeah, but it was fun. The other big news, I guess, is that my sister is coming back to town for a little bit.
Ooh, nice.
So
Yeah.
she'll be back for kind of the Halloween spookiness. So that'll be really fun.
Is she
Yeah.
dressing up for the party? Does she know it's a costume party?
I don't even know if she knows she's invited to this party yet.
Well, she lives
She'll
at the
find
house
out
where the
soon.
party's happening.
Yeah, so
Primarily.
she'll know by the time she gets back,
Sure.
but it's just kind
Right.
of funny. So
It is funny.
oh,
funny.
the other big thing is we
Mhm.
finally know what our costumes are gonna be.
Ah.
Ooh, exciting.
No hints, no spoilers.
okay,
So
alright.
listeners, so sorry, but you'll have to find out what our costumes are after October 26th.
I will give you a
All
hint
good.
on mine, Steph.
Whoa.
Though I think I might have already given it on the podcast. The only hint is video game related.
That's right,
That's all
you
I'm
did in
telling
the
you.
last
Yep.
episode. I believe that. Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct.
So, listeners, you're going to find out, I guess, like what our costumes are
Mhm.
then on the 31st, an actual Halloween episode that comes out. Because
Yes,
that'll be
yeah.
the next one that'll come out after the
Absolutely.
big Halloween party. Did we
Mhm.
even mention that for the listeners that we were having Halloween too?
Yes.
Yes, you
Okay,
did.
cool. I'm
Yeah.
glad.
No, you're good.
We should
You're all good.
we should try to get a photo of us 3 in our full costumes for the
should.
Ooh,
for
that would be
the
fun. We should.
socials.
Mm-hmm.
The like 10th meetup.
That's right. Oh my god.
That's
Yeah, I know. I
funny.
think we have to start charging for these at this point.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, so we can do that. That's
Okay.
definitely something
Cool,
we'll have
cool.
to try and remember. I'll try and make a note written down so I see it all the time.
Yes.
But yeah, other than that, I think that's been kind of it.
Sounds good.
Nice. Larissa, hit us.
Yeah, well, talking about meetups, Sam and I did a little bit of our meetup of our own. Fun
Oh.
fact, yeah, this one was actually with a couple of fans that we have. We did a Monster Mash Dash that was hosted by our dear brother-in-law, and it was a great time. It was a great turnout. Lots of people were in their costumes, and at the end,
A
two
Monster Mash
fans-
Dash, real quick. Sorry, is
Yeah,
a,
go ahead.
a
I don't know
5K
what that
run
is.
and walk and 1 mile walk.
I apologize.
Oh,
I guess I
okay.
should have said that.
So yeah, it's put on by our local Main Street organization,
Mhm.
and it is a 5K and then a 1 mile walk where everybody dresses up in costume. There's a little thing for the kids where they do a 100-meter dash, and then there's prizes like medals and stuff, and then a costume contest prize and a dog costume prize,
Mhm.
Oh.
and every ticket we get a free beer with afterwards. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was really, really fun.
sorry,
and,
I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's all right. I understand. I was a little so excited that we had 2 fans that come up to meet us that I forgot to explain what the actual event was. So thank you.
Yeah.
Did you guys take your dog?
No.
Oh,
Our dog.
No, this wasn't a
is-
murder fest, Steph. It was a 5K, okay?
We love our pets, obviously, but we also respect that some pets have really difficulties with boundaries, and so we
Okay.
kept them safe at home.
Okay. I was just
Specifically Usually our
curious.
pet has difficulties with roundness.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just curious because you said like costume contest for dogs. I'm like, well, maybe
No.
they tickle. But
No,
okay.
my dad did bring his dog though, and it was dressed up as a giant
super cute.
turkey, and
Aw.
the turkey legs came off, and they were
They
squeak
did.
toys.
That's cute.
Yeah. Sorry, Larissa. Yes, your story, not mine. I
No, go on.
apologize.
It's great. I love the segue because I believe the dog costume winner was Chucky and the Bride of Chucky. It was a duo
Yes.
combo. That was
Aw.
hilarious, super cute. And the costume contest winners were the three blind mice. So people really get creative for this, and it's a lot of fun.
I think the beekeepers and their little bumblebee should have won.
Yeah. Super cute.
But-
The little bumblebee was what their like 4-month-old daughter, so it was
Yeah.
precious.
Aw.
And I do think that the in my heart, the dog that should have won the contest was a little wiener dog that was dressed up as a skunk, and it looked like their costume was homemade with like
super cute.
white stripes going down their
Aw.
back. Like it was an actual like legit costume too. It wasn't just like painted on. It was really cute.
Right.
Mhm.
But yeah, our two fans came up and they're like, oh my goodness, they're big time fans. And we told them, we promised them while we were drinking our beers that we would shout them out. So you know who you are. And the next time you see fans, you'll thank us for the shout out.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
But yeah, go on, Super Sam. That's your little name here on our monitors. Fun fact, dear listeners.
I put it as that for the superhero create
Mhm.
episode that we did. And I was Super Sam, and you guys were sidekicks, and I never changed mine back, so it still
No.
says Super Sam.
So, Super Sam, do you want to give us a weekend update, or you just want to go straight to controversial 2024 corner?
So I have other like points that aren't specific to controversial. I was watching YouTube, and I was trying to research for this episode that we're gonna do, and I was trying to watch a TV show that aired in like the late 90s, early 2000s, and when I watched clips of it on YouTube, they have their whole like they produced it and they put it on their YouTube
Interesting.
channel kind of thing.
So
All
they're
their
not going to
episodes.
get copyrighted or anything.
Right. But all of their videos in a 4:3 aspect ratio,
Oh,
which I thought was interesting
right.
because that's how it
funny.
originally aired.
Mhm.
And I didn't know YouTube did that. So I was like,
Yeah.
is my YouTube broken? Why is it a perfect square? And then I went and watched something else and it was 16:9 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
Huh.
a little interesting factoid I found out. But
Mhm.
now it's time for the 2024 Controversial Corner. Number 1, do you think, this is weird, but do you think Beast Boy could save endangered species?
Beast Boy as in Beast Boy and Lava Girl?
No, Beast Boy
No.
from Teen Titans.
Oh, okay. I was very
Beast
confused
Boy
for a
Lava
second.
Girl. No,
Yeah,
that's
you're
Shark
thinking
Boy.
Shark Boy.
Shark
I think
Boy,
Shark
thank
Boy
you.
could save the
I
shark
mixed the two
population,
together.
But I know it's weird and kind of gross. But do you think Beast Boy could save the animal population?
Are you
Like endangered
implying
species.
that he could mate with other animals?
His name's Beast Boy for a reason.
I say no
He
because
could if he wanted. Oh.
But would they
Oh,
be
go,
like
Steph, go.
human hybrids, or would they be the actual animals that he turns into?
I would assume it'd be a hybrid because at the end of the day, he's still a person, right?
Yeah, but it changes his DNA, doesn't it? Like he changes from like human to
Yes.
giraffe. Does he have giraffe DNA?
But he could still talk as a giraffe. Would the giraffe be able to talk? Like if he
Yeah, I
was
don't
able
know.
to?
Weird
I
question,
don't
though,
know.
right?
yeah, I say no because I think he's just a shapeshifter, so I don't think his DNA structure actually changes.
I don't know enough about DNA. So
DC comic fans, let us know.
yeah. Number 2, digital copies of video games. This is something I was talking about with Larissa last night.
It's true.
Digital copies of video games should be cheaper than physical copies. Because with a physical copy, you have the plastic of the case, you have the disc, you have the inserts, you have the distribution costs, the marketing costs, the cost just to, ship it out and take it to, stores and everything. I understand there's underlying costs with digital games like server space and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's got to be way cheaper to produce a digital only game versus a physical game because a lot of games are producing both. Like, yeah, you can get it physical, but you can also get it digital. And it seems like there should be at least some sort of discount to get it digital.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you, but I will disagree with what you're saying with the distribution costs, marketing costs being less expensive. I think they're the same, honestly. I mean, if now it's harder to market your game if you don't have a physical copy in stores, if anything, our marketing budget went up. So I just say there probably should be a discount. And you should pay your artists. Like a lot of that budget does go to paying them. So maybe like a $10
absolutely.
discount, but I wouldn't disagree with you that like maybe Well, at the same time, though, they've been charging video games prices at like $60 for how many years now?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
if you
absolutely.
account for the rate of inflation, Nintendo games that came out in like the 80s really should be like back then, like today's prices are like $100 today.
Probably, yeah, but I
So
don't know. Steph, what are your thoughts?
I feel I get what you're saying. I don't know. I feel like I think it should be maybe like lesser. I just don't like digital games like that.
Right, you're a
Yeah.
They're
physical
digital.
holder, right?
I like physical games. Like I loved like stuff like in the GameCube where you have
Mhm.
the manuals, like the little game manuals where
Yes.
it
Yeah, they don't
talks
make
about
those
the
anymore.
game. No. But I just don't like the concept of you have a digital game. It's kind of like with streaming. There's been a big
Mhm.
talk about like physical media and how
Absolutely.
streaming services are locking it. So like even if you
Right.
buy something on a platform, a movie, you're like, hey, I own this movie, at any point the streaming service can just up the price or change it and be like, well,
Yeah.
no, actually you don't own it because we own the rights.
Right, absolutely. And that gets into a
So
whole nother issue.
it's a whole other issue. So I just don't like the concept of digital games all that much because it's like,
Yeah.
well, do you really own it or can they change your copy of it at any moment?
Yeah.
Right.
But I will say, for digital, for the pro side of it, sorry, I'm stumbling on my words here. It did give a lot of opportunities for small independent creators to put their game out there. Because you're right, Sam, there is a huge cost associated with making a physical product.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's true.
Mhm.
Like indie developers and indie companies do have a better time with just the online version. So I don't
Right.
know. It's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a whole
it's-
different
yeah,
topic.
It's a whole thing. We could have a whole
Mhm.
episode about it.
Absolutely.
Number 3. Do you know what the Six Flags are in Six
Oh.
Flags, the amusement park?
I do actually know this. I'll let
Okay.
Steph take a guess.
Steph, do you know what the
God,
Six
I don't
Flags and
know.
Six
They're
Flags are?
different colors, different continents, I would assume. I
What
don't
if
know.
I told you the sixth flag of Six Flags is the Confederate flag?
That's really funny, actually. I do know that they're based off of the counties of Texas.
No, former countries of Texas. So they
Oh,
represent
yes, sorry.
different countries that Texas involving its history. So
Mhm.
the Republic of Texas, the United States, Spain, Mexico, France,
Blanking.
maybe, and then the Confederacy,
Oh,
which was the
my.
shortest lived out of all
Yikes.
those, probably, or the
Yikes.
Republic of Texas, whatever.
Mhm.
But yeah, and in 2017 they changed it. They just changed them all to American flags,
Good.
and now they're owned by Cedar Fair or whatever. So
Mhm.
doesn't really matter, but a little funny tidbit.
That's super
Mm.
controversial, and that should have been changed in the year of our Lord. It should have never been a thing to begin with.
That's fair. Okay, and last one is I saw a UFO once.
Are you
Back
just
in-
saying this?
No, back in 2000, summer of 2011, I was up by Lake Erie, and I was over at a park and out on like a viewing platform, and it was dark. It just like sun had just set, and you can see the horizon of the water. You can see the difference between the water and the sky, because you can see some clouds in the sky, very very few, and you can see some stars. And then all of a sudden, up above the horizon, this bright blue light appeared in the sky and was kind of like moving upward, not like towards me, but like upward, and then moved left and then right and then down, and then a second one appeared, and they kind of like did this opposite motion of each other in very stagnant, like straight lines, and then just zoomed away, disappeared, completely gone.
Yeah, my theory is that it's just the United States military doing some testing over the Great Lakes, because there are Air Force bases nearby in the Great Lakes region. So, yeah.
So
It's unidentified to you.
yes, but that is the segue into today's topic.
Oh.
Speaking of UFOs and conspiracies and the unknown, we will be doing a, believe it or not, fact or fiction, urban legends episode.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, so the way this is going to work, I have 4 urban legend stories for you. I'm going to read them off. After each one, you guys are going to tell me if you believe it is real or fake. They could all be real. They could all be fake. It could be 2 of each, 1 and 3, whatever. You guys discuss it among yourselves. And then at the very end, I'll tell you if those stories were in fact real or fake.
I was going to say, do we need to be, like Lorissa and I, do we need to be like having the same, do we need to discuss and have the same thought on each one?
No,
or
you guys
can we
can
have
have different thoughts.
opinions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Different opinions, yeah.
Can I buzz in if I think right away if it's fake or not?
No.
Aw.
Save yourself to the end.
Okay.
If you have heard one of these and you're 100%,
Mhm.
let the other person answer first and
Okay.
then give your reasoning.
Fair enough.
Okay, so let me get this going, and we will begin. Okay, so the first one I have titled The Closet Dimension. I've titled all these my own, so...
Fake story!
They're all fake stories, because I titled
I was
them all
going to say,
myself.
technically they're all fake.
No, they didn't have titles with them, so...
Wait, hold on. One qualifying question. What is your definition of an urban legend? Because some people don't believe creepypastas to be urban legends.
No, these aren't creepypastas.
Okay.
These are just like urban legends based on stories told throughout time or through history, or like based on like rumors and different things, and either they are true, there is evidence behind them, and it's like, hey, this actually happened, or it was like, no, this is completely made up, this was something made on Reddit, or a story somebody made up in the 40s, or whatever.
So what was this one called, the title?
The Closet Dimension.
Ooh,
Okay, so the story begins in a typical suburban setting where Tommy, a young boy, is an adventurous child, full of curiosity and imagination. He loves exploring his room and, like many kids, is fascinated by the closet, a mysterious place where shadows dance and secrets hide. As a kid, you were always kind of freaked out about your closet sometimes. There's the monster in the closet. Well, one evening, Tommy is playing in his room when he discovers a hidden door in his closet, a door he has never noticed before. Drawn by the irresistible urge, he decides to open it. As he pushes the door ajar, a strange light spills into the room, illuminating his curious face. Tommy steps through the threshold and immediately finds himself in a strange, fantastical realm, unlike anything he has ever seen. This world is vibrant and surreal, filled with bizarre creatures and landscapes that defy logic. As he wanders through this magical place, Tommy is enthralled by the wonders surrounding him, forgetting the reality of his room and the concerns of the outside world. However, as time passes, Tommy begins to feel a pain of anxiety. The enchantment of the realm starts to wane, and he realizes he may not be able to return home. As the vibrant colors fade and the whimsical creatures turn ominous, the reality of the situation sets in. He is lost in the world that could be both wondrous and dangerous. Meanwhile, back in the real world, Tommy's parents grow increasingly worried as they search for their son. They call out his name, but the only response is an eerie silence throughout the house. The story builds tension as time drips away like sand through an hourglass, leaving yourself wondering what's going on. After what feels like an eternity, Tommy finally discovers the door that he came through. With a mix of fear and determination, he rushes back, pushing through the glowing portal, and just as his parents are about to give up hope, Tommy reappears in his closet safe and sound. Relieved but shaken, he recounts his adventures to his bewildered parents, who struggle to comprehend his fantastical tale. As they embrace him on a chilling note, they begin to wonder, was Tommy's experience a figment of his imagination or something far more sinister?
All right. Well, this sounds almost like...
Sorry, I stumbled a few. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
It's fine. Reading out loud is difficult, whether or not you're in third grade or you're 30 years old.
I'm neither.
So I was going to say this sounds like a classic Spirited Away tale that like someone in Japan may have told perhaps, or even some inspiration from horror movies that we have seen in the past, specifically like Paranormal Activity. But I don't know. Steph, what do you think?
That's funny, like Spirited Away was the first thing you thought of, because when I was like taking notes and writing it down, as I always do, I wrote down Narnia and Coraline. Like It was a mix of the two.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like you get transported to a magical land of Narnia, right? But then when you're like, oh, but you might not be able to return, or like, things kind of are not as magical as they seem. It reminded me of Coraline when she goes to the other world, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it reminded me of.
Absolutely.
I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's not real just because it just reminds me of so many other things. I don't know. I mean, I guess it could. I guess if... Okay, crazy would be like if all those things, like Spirited Away, Narnia, and Coraline were based off of like this urban legend or something. That would be crazy. That would be a plot twist. But I just feel like this is based off of so many other ideas that have already been kind of there. Plus, I feel like Narnia is a little bit of an older story anyway.
Yeah, I think this is some sort of cultural root that like a lot of cultures clearly can identify with, but I don't think it's a specific like urban legend that some community in like South Africa is like, hey guys, did you hear about this boy who claimed that he went to a different land? Like, I just think it's stories people have been telling each other for like generations.
So you think it's fake too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys both think this one is fake?
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to go on to the next story. It is titled, and I wish I knew how to pronounce this correctly, so if you tell me, I'm going to spell it out for you. You tell me how you think it's pronounced. Polybius. Polybius.
Well, immediately I think it's real because you don't know how to pronounce it.
Polybius. Polybius. I don't know. What do you?
You could type it into Google and ask it to
I did
speak to
once,
you.
and I don't remember.
Well,
How about I just say polybus?
That sounds close, actually.
Polybus. Okay. So, the story began in the early 1980s when arcade games are reaching their zenith. Players reported that a mysterious game called Polybus had started appearing in various arcades around Portland, Oregon. The game was said to feature mind-bending graphics and addictive gameplay, but it came with a dark twist. Gamers started claiming that after playing, they experienced intense hallucinations, nightmares, and even memory loss. The game was popular to the point of addiction, with lines forming around the machines and often resulting in fights over who would play next. The machines were visited, at one point, by men in black, who collected unknown data from the machines, allegedly testing responses to the game's psychoactive effects. Players supposedly suffered from a series of unpleasant side effects, including seizures, amnesia, insomnia, night terrors, and hallucinations. Approximately 1 month after its supposed release in 1981, Polybus is said to have disappeared without a trace. Whispers of the game spread like wildfire, fueled by the arcade culture and the rise of home computing. It was said that Polybus was a psychological experiment, a tool of mind control crafted by shadowy government forces. In October of 1981, a boy named Bobby Feldstein disappeared from his home in the suburbs of Portland, Oregon. As he would tell later, early in the day, he had been playing a mysterious video game at Coin Kingdom, a dodgy arcade in the city, and as he got deeper into the game, things started to go wrong in his head. Consciousness dissolving to percussive static. The feeling lingered and grew as he made his way home, an unavoidable sense that something was off. That's when they came for him. A group of mysterious figures approached the house. They entered, and he tried to scream, but he was paralyzed. Not long after, he blacked out. When Bobby awoke, he was somewhere deep underground, still unable to move. Though his restraints were now physical, a badly mangled boy approached him, freeing him from his bonds. Together the pair fled through tunnels, and Bobby says he was sure that they were being followed. By the time they emerged from the tunnels, the boy had vanished, and Bobby found himself deep in the forest, 60-some miles from Portland. He eventually made his way home and explained that what happened, and nobody believed him. Yet, after a brief existence, the game mysteriously vanished, leaving behind only rumors and urban legends. Years passed, and the tale of Polybus became a beloved part of internet lore, sparking countless discussions on forums, including YouTube videos and even an episode of The Simpsons and The X-Files. But the legend took an unexpected turn when the researchers delved into its origins, uncovering a deeper truth that brought the story back to life. Was it a secret government research program using games as unwitting guinea pigs, or was it a part of the CIA's MK Ultra mind control program?
That was the story?
That was a story.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So I think I may be a little bit confused about the qualifications of what an urban legend is. Are you trying to say if an urban legend was based off of some kind of truth?
I guess I'm saying, is this story itself, this story, an urban legend? Is it real? Is it fake? Is it something somebody made up? Or is there truth behind it? Did Polybus exist? Was this arcade game real? Did Bobby Feldstein get kidnapped? All this stuff, all of this as one. And I guess when urban legends are true or false, sometimes there's like, this is actually based on this specific game. Maybe it wasn't called Polybus, but, existed at one point. The kid disappeared. He was found later, 60-something miles from his home, but he blamed the video game and playing it, something like that.
Okay, and so that's why you don't classify like a creepypasta as an urban legend, because it was something made up for the internet.
Right.
Okay, because I think I have heard this story before, and so that's why I asked that question.
So what do you think, Lorissa, then?
That's why I try to clarify the definition of what Sam is trying to say. So I think it's a real urban legend, as in people have told this story before, but I don't know if it's based off of some truth or if it was just fabricated for the internet for hijinks.
They're either real or fake. I'll just say that.
I just feel like it's fake. My gut is telling me it's fake. I don't know. That seems freaking crazy. I don't know. It's just a wild story.
Okay. All right. Steph's saying it's fake. What about you, Lorissa?
Like I said, I think it's a real urban legend, as in like people have told this on the internet.
Well, all urban legends are real urban legends.
Right.
Slender Man's a real urban legend. It's just not real. There's no realness to it.
Right.
So all of these are real urban legends, but did these events happen?
Oh, so you didn't make any of these up yourself?
No.
Okay.
I think I still go with my gut.
Oh, well, I think it's fake then, but I have heard this story before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is called The Leprechaun at the Door. It was a warm spring evening in 1995, and the sun was still shining over the suburban sprawl of Rochester, New York. Sarah, a single mother in her mid-30s, hurried through the cluttered kitchen of their small home, preparing a quick dinner for her 10-year-old son, Ethan. The air was fragrant and with the smell of spaghetti sauce simmering on the stove, but as she set the table, the phone rang. "Sarah, we have an emergency at the office," her manager's voice crackled through the phone. "I need you to come in right away. We'll be short-staffed." Sarah's heart sank. She glanced over at Ethan, engrossing cartoons on the living room floor. "Can't this wait?" she pleaded. They said, "I'm afraid not. We really need you." With a sigh, she relented. "Okay, I'll be there soon as I can. Just 30 minutes, I promise." She told Ethan, "I'll be right back. No more than 30 minutes. That's about one episode of cartoons worth. Just watch some TV. My office number's on the fridge for emergencies. Don't answer the door for anyone." She gave him a hug and left. Sarah dashed out the door, locking it behind her, and it was still light out, so she felt confident that Ethan would be fine for a half hour. As Sarah drove to the office, she pushed thoughts of her son at the back of her mind. But the moment she stepped into the office, her phone rang, with an incoming call from Ethan. "Mom," he exclaimed, his voice frantic, "the leprechaun won't leave me alone." Sarah thought it was maybe a Lucky Charms commercial on TV or a TV show about leprechauns. "It's okay, sweetie. Just change the channel, watch something different maybe. I'll be home soon. I love you." He says, "Mom, I'm serious. He's in the living room." And she said, "Sweetie, it's just your imagination. Just change the channel, ignore him, okay? I'll be home soon." She hangs up. Minutes ticked by and Sarah tried to focus on the work at hand, and as her thoughts kept drifting back to Ethan, just as she was starting to feel settled, her phone rang again. "Mom, he's still here." Ethan's voice was starting to tremble. "He keeps asking me for gold and saying I have to help him." "Ethan, it's okay, it's just your imagination, you're safe. Maybe just play with your Game Boy instead. I'm almost finished. Love you." And she hangs up. She felt a slight sense of unease, but tried to brush it off. Kids love to play pretend, after all. And Ethan has quite the imagination. He had numerous imaginary friends growing up. As she packed up to leave, the phone rang one last time. This time, Ethan sounded determined. "Hi, Mom. Don't worry about leaving work early. I captured the leprechaun and defeated him. Turns out they're weak to apples." "What? Ethan, what do you mean?" And he says, "Bye," and just hangs up. Panic flooded in her voice as she dashed out the door and sped home, heart racing. The drive felt like an eternity. The vibrant greens of spring blurred past her as she focused solely on reaching Ethan. When she finally arrived, the sun was beginning to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows across the neighborhood. Sarah rushed into the house, calling out for Ethan. "I'm home, where are you?" She heard rustling coming from his room upstairs and rushed down the hallway. The door was slightly ajar, and the moment she opened it, her eyes widened in shock. In the corner of the room, her son stood proudly, hands on his hips, staring at a little person who was tied up in a colorful jump rope. Apples were strewn across the floor, and the little person looked bewildered and slightly annoyed at her. "Ethan, what did you do?" she exclaimed. "Mom, I told you he was asking for gold, and I had to protect myself. So I tied him up." Ethan grinned clearly and proud of his heroic actions. The man, who was indeed a small adult, looked up at Sarah with a mix of exasperation and embarrassment. "Ma'am, I was just trying to sell magazines door to door. Your son thought I was a leprechaun." Relief flooded over Sarah, and quickly followed by embarrassment. She knelt down to Ethan's level, trying to suppress her laughter. "Sweetheart, you can't just tie up people. He's not a leprechaun. He's just a man trying to make a living." The man cleared his throat and, adjusting his glasses, said, "It's all right, ma'am. I've had worse days, but if you could just untie me, I'd appreciate it." Ethan looked sheepish, realizing the gravity of what he had done. With a quick tug, he untied the man, who stood up and brushed himself off. "Thank you, kid. Next time, maybe just stick to ignore me."
What a fun story. I like that one.
Yeah, I do like the addition of leprechauns don't like apples. That's pretty clever.
Leprechauns don't like apples. That's right.
I didn't know that.
First of all, you said Ethan was 10 years old?
Yes.
Too young to be staying home by himself, first of all.
Well...
just gonna throw that out there.
Well, yeah. What was this? Does it say what time period it was from?
This one does not say.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna say it's real. I think that's fun.
Oh, wait. It's a 1995. I'm sorry, 1995.
Oh, okay. Yeah. People were leaving their kids home at like 10. Like, that's totally believable. And,
so you're both saying this one's real?
Well, I may
think
not
it's real.
have heard of this story before, and someone very close to us may or may not have told me this already. So
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you want me to reveal what I think now?
Well, we're revealing
or at the end?
the truth about him at the end.
So what do you want me to do?
So at the end, we're revealing the truth about
Okay,
these.
so then I won't say anything then.
Correct, because that's what I said. All right. I have one last story for you guys. You ready?
Okay.
This is the legend of Yurei High. So, in the quiet town of Kurashaki, Japan, near Osaka, whispers began circulating among school children about a mysterious anime titled Yurei High, produced by the Kaze no Kawa Animation Studios. It was said to air late at night, but no one could find any official record of it. The series supposedly followed a group of high school students who encountered supernatural spirits, Yurei, while navigating their everyday lives. The plot was both thrilling and frightening, leaving viewers with a mix of excitement and dread. It all began when a few kids stumbled upon the show while channel surfing late at night. They described it as an eerie blend of horror and dark humor, filled with unsettling visuals and haunting music. The characters were relatable, but the chilling spirits they faced were unnervingly real. What fascinated the children even more was the show's tagline, "Once you watch it, you can never forget." Word spread quickly at school, and soon Yurei High became the hot topic among all the students. Those who claimed to have seen it described experiences that left their peers eager and terrified to watch it themselves. However, the excitement soon turned into something much darker. Students began reporting strange occurrences after watching the show. It started with nightmares, vivid dreams of ghostly figures lurking in their rooms, or calling their names in soft, mournful tones. Some children claimed they would wake up to find their rooms inexplicably cold, as if chilling breeze had swept through. Teachers noticed students showing signs of extreme anxiety, and some even stopped attending school altogether. Rumors spread through the town that the show was cursed. Parents became concerned as they heard their children whispering about spirits and strange happenings. The principal held an emergency meeting at the school, urging students to avoid watching Yurei High, but the allure of the show was only deepened. The rumors of the show started spreading through the entire town after a schoolboy named Taro disappeared. After an extensive investigation and numerous interviews, the only connecting piece of evidence was that he was obsessed with Yurei High. The police got information regarding Kazunokawa Animation, thinking maybe they might be able to garner some evidence from speaking with them. However, when they arrived at the location of the studio, there was no one there. It appeared the building had been abandoned for decades. The only evidence they were able to uncover were some drawings scattered around the floor of what looked to be some of the spirits from the TV show, and one that looked strikingly similar to Taro, but much more horrifying. After years, the case went cold and Taro was never heard or seen from again. Eventually, it was said that the anime itself had vanished from all television listings and streaming services, as it had never existed. Children who had watched it began to forget its name, but those who experienced its horrors still felt like the weight of its pressure in their lives. To this day, Yurei High remains an urban legend in that small town, a chilling reminder of the dangers lurking in the shadows of the unknown. Some still claim to have found old tapes of the show buried away in forgotten corners of their homes, and they warn each other to avoid watching it, sharing hushed stories of Taro and the other strange occurrences surrounding the show. As years pass, the legend lives on, passed down from student to student, ensuring that the name Yurei High is forever etched into the minds of those who dare to listen. And even now, parents tell their children to stay away from the TV after dark, lest they inadvertently summon the spirits of Yurei High back into their lives.
I like that one too.
Yeah, it's fun. It reminds me a lot of like the legendary Pokemon episode where they like supposedly had to cancel airing it because it was giving a bunch of children seizures from watching the episode. And also a mix of the urban legend / creepypasta of Lavender Town, which, for fun fact, who doesn't know what I'm talking about, is a fake level in a Pokemon game.
No, Lavender Town's very real.
Well, the legend of it. I'm sorry. I didn't realize Lavender Town was real. I thought it was fake. Where you supposedly go into this town, and if you happen to play that area on your Game Boy Advance, kids see spooky things, and they may or may not hurt other people or hurt themselves.
Wasn't that just from listening to the music?
Yeah, specific music. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that one's real. I like that one.
The episode of Pokemon you're talking about is real. It's the
I know
episode. Yeah, it was flashing lights a ton in the show. You can still watch it. I think you can dig it up, but it was taken off TV because it was causing problems.
Yeah, that's true. I guess the urban legend fact of it was like, I think they looked into it and there was maybe, I don't know, like 5 cases of children having uncontrollable seizures. Yeah, it wasn't like the entire nation suddenly collapsed and convulsed. So
I think it's real. I like this one.
I think it's fake, but I think it's fun. Absolutely.
Okay, so those are the 4 stories I had for you guys today. So Steph, give me your rundown. Which ones do you think were real and which ones do you think were fake?
Okay, so the closet dimension I said was fake.
Okay.
The Polybebus is fake. The leprechaun one, I just thought that was fun. I said it was real. And the last one, the high school one, is real with the show.
Okay. So the first two are fake, the last 2 are real.
Yep.
Larissa, what are yours?
I go fake. Fake asterisk, because I'm still a little confused about your definitions that we're trying to look for. And do you want me to reveal what I think of the third story?
I'm going to reveal all of these. You just tell me fake or real.
All right, real and fake.
Okay. So you think 3 of them are fake and 1 of them's real.
Correct.
Okay. So we will start with number 3 because you guys both thought that one was real.
Uh-huh.
And you guys are correct.
Whoa.
This is actually based on a story that my mom told me of a coworker of hers who this actually happened to.
Wild.
It's a slightly different circumstances with the child itself, but like literally the exact same story.
That's crazy.
So I just typed it up as a story to be told.
Right.
But yeah, a kid home alone, and somebody came to the door and he kept calling his mom saying they wouldn't leave him alone. Ended up grabbing the man and tying him up in his closet, and she got home, tons of apples on the ground surrounding him. The guy was all bruised up and was not too happy. But
could you imagine you get beat up by a 10-year-old?
Well, in the actual story, it was a grown son with learning disabilities.
Yeah.
Who she didn't leave at home all that often. It was just a very
I see.
story.
I thought you were still saying like the 10-year-old part was real. That's why I was like, that is a child.
Yeah. I don't know the specifics of the story, so I didn't want to get into details about it.
No, you're good. You're good. Okay.
But the yeah, so there's truth behind that. Next, we will go into Polybus. This one is fake.
Okay,
this
we
was
called that
a internet rumor that was started at one point. The origins of the starting aren't really known. But it was like one of those things that kind of just like spread like wildfire. And there's even people that claim like, oh yeah, I remember seeing Polybus in my arcade. And oh no, like I totally played Polybus. And like
on the bandwagon.
Either believing it themselves or just going along with it. To the point in 2000, a programmer named David D decided to bring the legend to life. He created a game inspired by the myths of Polybus, complete with flashing lights and surreal gameplay, which he showcased at various gaming conventions. And while his version was purely artistic, it reignited interest in the mythos surrounding Polybus, cementing its place in pop culture. And that was back in 2000. So this legend has probably been around since the 80s.
It's pretty cool. And that's why I was like, I know this is a real urban legend. That's why I was confused.
Right, the urban legends are all real.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to say. But this one is specifically fake. It never exists. Polybus never existed. The kid never got kidnapped.
There's no truth to this urban legend.
There's no Men in Black testing the machines.
Right. And also, there was another game created on the urban legend back in 2016. It's like a horror game. So the next one is Ure High. Steph, you thought this one was real?
I thought it was real.
It was fake?
I thought it was fake.
This is fake. This was created by ChatGPT.
Oh, that's crazy.
I typed in, give me a very realistic urban legend based on an anime. Make up an anime studio that can go in and sound real and all this stuff. And so it did.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I guess ChatGPT is getting better. What are they now in version 2.0? Like,
it still doesn't know how many R's are in the word strawberry, so
it's fair.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Well, rumors may be that third version may be coming out soon, so we'll see. Maybe it can learn how to spell strawberry then.
That's right. And the last one, the closet dimension, I stumbled over my words a little bit because when I took this, it was from an article I had read based on the TV show Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction, which is what inspired this episode. And so it's typed as a viewer watching the show. So there are different parts in it that say the audience, the show itself. So I had to try to cut that out. And so in the show, it's very similar. They read you they have 5 different stories. And then at the end, they tell you if it's fact or fake. This one is real.
What? Interesting.
So
it sounds so fake.
So yes and no. I guess that's it's take it with a grain of salt. It is based on real events of a boy who was playing hide and go seek with his friend at his house.
Okay.
And he decided to hide in his closet. In his closet, he had one of those access doors to the attic. He had never been in the attic before in his home. And he had gone up there and seen a bunch of decorations and different things in the attic he had never recognized before. And he thought it'd be fun if he played ultimate hide and go seek. And so he put stuff on the door so that it couldn't be opened.
Right.
Oh my God.
Climbed out a window up top.
Wow.
And then went to a friend's house and hid in the friend's house for a week or two until the mom found him hiding in their attic.
Oh my God. That's funny.
Yeah, the parents thought he was kidnapped, thought he had
absolutely
gone missing.
That would be the logical conclusion.
He had actually gone through a door in the closet and disappeared.
God, if I was those parents, I'd be so livid.
I know.
I'd be so upset.
I mean, I played hide and go seek pretty hardcore when I was a kid, like to the point where like if they were like, "Hey, come on out," like we give up, I'd be like, "No, you gotta find me," but never that hard.
Oh
Absolutely.
my.
There's so many good ones on that show, Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. My favorite is The Killing of Roy Hennessy, I think it's titled. And it's these two girls who are at a cemetery working on a school project on like ancestry and like, finding graves and stuff like that. And while they're there, they hear this dispute between these two men and they see this guy chasing this other guy and he shoots him.
Oh my god.
And so the girls are freaked out and they're like, holy crap, those are gunshots. And they
Yeah.
hide behind a headstone.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy leaves the park in a getaway car and just like drives off.
Jeez.
They go up to the man who's been shot. He's bleeding out. They're trying to help him. And he's like, just let them know Roy Hennessy was killed by Mike Smith. That's what he says. And he dies.
Wow.
And the girls run back to the car. This is like in the 90s. So they had
Sure.
a cell phone in the car.
Oh.
Call 911.
Wow, they were rich.
Yeah, they must have been. They go into the car, call 911, and they wait in the car for the police. Police get there. They can't find a body. They can't find any bullet casings, anything like that. And they're like, no, we both saw this happened. And they're like, what were the names again? They're like, oh, Roy Hennessy. And he's like, okay, well, Roy Hennessy's been dead for 2 years, and Mike Smith's been in police custody for the last 72 hours based on a bank robbery. So the cops tested the gun, and it turned out it was the same gun used in the killing of Roy Hennessy 2 years earlier, and he confessed to the killings. This is based on a true story.
That's wild. Yeah, that story would make me doubt my skepticism of ghosts. Maybe they are real then.
Absolutely.
Huh.
So, what'd you guys think? Did you like this? Did you enjoy it?
It was good.
Yeah, it was a lot
I
of
liked
fun.
the stories, so it was just kind of like I liked that you didn't tell us right away. I liked that we had to like listen until the end.
Yes, and I
find
apologize if I stumbled or read them too fast or anything.
Oh no, I thought it was good.
And like I said, qualifier, reading out loud is a skill, so we're not professionals narrating by any means.
Yeah, I also just put these on my computer. I didn't practice reading them ahead of time. I just had them out there, so
it's all good. You did great. Don't worry.
Thank you. Well, everybody, thank you guys so much for listening. It's a slightly shorter episode than we're used to. We've kind of been around like the 55 minute mark. This one's probably going to be around the 40 minute mark, which is completely okay because we know you listen to the end and you love us so much for it. And show us your love by following us on social media at Shifting Tones Podcast, Shifting Tones Pod, wherever, shiftingtonespod@gmail.com, whatever you want to do. Tell us your urban legends. Do you have one that you always remember your family telling you growing up, something specific to you or your town or something like that? Let us know. Send it to us. We'd love to read it. And we'd maybe even read it on the podcast in the future. You can follow us individually at Sir Captain Sam, Lorissa at Larissa.Schaefer, and Steph at Spiffy Steffi. Thank you guys so much for listening. Have a spooky Halloween season, and goodbye.
Bye.